Hey, you're back at the garage with TheEZGZ. This is just going to be a casual video. A friend of mine took my advice and ordered some Super D carburetors, which are basically replicas of the Delordo style carburetor. And they didn't have the 36s, which come with a 30mm venturi. But they did have the 40 model, which comes with a 34mm venturi, which is a little bit much for a 1776, but it runs just fine. I have some on my 2110, and the characteristics, the driving characteristics are very similar. Now, don't be judgmental on this guy's car. It's a 67 Baja, and you and everybody else, you build your car the way you want it and enjoy it, and it doesn't make any difference what anybody else thinks of it. I like a nice quiet muffler, and these carburetors, Super D carburetors, they are an EMPI product, and they come with the manifolds, and they say EMPI on them, and they're the cast aluminum air cleaner top and base, which I think is wonderful. They have needle bearings that you glue inside the head, so these are just buttery smooth. We just came back from a drive, so I don't want to blip the throttle and be squirting raw fuel into the cylinders, and all of that stuff is adjustable. But the main purpose of this video is to let folks know that old EZGZ approves, and yes, I would recommend these to a friend. And I would, if I didn't have so many of the old ones myself, I would probably get these. Yes, sir, I probably would. I don't know if the 36s are out of stock. And where did you buy these, Paul?
Carcraft.
At Carcraft. Carcraft Volkswagen parts. Just Google that. And you look in their carburetor section, and you have to scroll through it, and I think there's only one little blip for these, and they sell the singles and the doubles and the HPMX and Webers and all the stuff. It's a full line wholesaler, and I'm not promoting them, I'm not getting anything from them. I'm just excited to see firsthand these 40s, because I had heard some bad things. I got on the Samba, and people just love to trash things. If things work good, they want to keep it a secret. But I want my viewers to understand this. If you've got a 1915 or bigger displacement engine, I think that these would be swell. And I think, what'd you pay for them? Like
$749.
$750, and this is June of 2023, so prices and things may vary.
Carcraft was the cheapest.
Huh?
Carcraft was the cheapest.
Okay, Carcraft was the cheapest, so there you go. I noticed a few changes. All the screws are real smooth. The heim joints look good. I didn't think I would like this, and I didn't know if it was going to be on both carburetors or just one. Back in the day, they had a right hand and a left hand carburetor. Now they only make one model, and they give you the spacer so that it helps with your linkage geometry. And I think Paul did a great job. I wanted to look at them before, as soon as they came out of the box, before we put them on the car, but Paul was excited to get them and waited a while for them, so he went ahead and put them on, and he got them running himself. You're out in someone's garage with EZGZ, and the sun's shining, and this is not one of my normal type of videos, but I was visiting a friend across the street, and the garage door came up, and I came over and started talking to this guy, and I think this is just one of those really unique stories. This guy has had this car since he was in high school, like 35 years, and it's slammed. It's a 63, it's a swing axle, and he's just been playing with it for all of these years. He just got himself a fresh 1915 motor in it, and he got some EMPI HPMX 44 carburetors. Somebody helped him set them up. There you can see, maybe you can see the name here on the side. I hope my lens is clearer than the viewer. So I just wanted to talk about this thing a little bit. It seems like in the last month I've met some new people and had some opportunities that I haven't normally gotten into before. I always talk about carburetors on my channel, and these 44s are on a 1915, and they did replace the main jets and the venturis with smaller ones. And I just wanted you to know that I did a little work on these things, final tuning, and it's not my car, and I'm not at liberty to do a lot of things with it, so I hope I don't disappoint you guys that came to this video thinking you're gonna, learn something new. But I just wanted, EMPI makes the Super D carbs, and I have another friend who took my advice and got some of those, and we got them on his 1776, and they're dialed in, and I'm just looking at, it's a very similar linkage package. The connections are different on the Super Ds. They have needle bearings in the sides. These have a ball and socket type setup. But I noticed, back in the day, they used to make a left and a right hand carburetor for Webers and Delordos. And these new ones, they're not doing that. So the spring for the throttle plate, you're seeing one here. This is an auxiliary spring. And then over here on this side, you can see the clock spring, possibly down here, that normally you have on the carburetor, which for a street car to set up, it should be working good enough. Your throttle cable should be loose enough in the tunnel, lubricated, whatever. It should move freely in the throttle tube that goes through your tunnel to your gas pedal, and that can drive you crazy if it's not set up right. This one was leading a little bit on one side rather than the other, but we got that synchronized. They have left and right hand threads on the connecting link here on both sides, and as I've mentioned before, you always want to put the left hand thread Heim joint on the top. That way when you're loosening the lock nut, it's righty tighty, lefty loosey, okay? And you don't have to figure that out. There's not much thread showing, and whoever set this up did it that way. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. And this thing really runs sweet. He's got the serpentine belt on here. It looks pretty snazzy. This whole setup looks pretty snazzy. The main differences between a set of Webers or the HPMX Weber copycats is that you have to get to the idle jets from the side, and it's very difficult. You can see there's not much. I can't even get my finger through here to get a screwdriver in there easily. A lot of guys will make a trap door, drill a hole in here, different access points, but the idle jets are up here on the side. With the Super Ds that I like a little bit better, it has a cast aluminum air cleaner housing. This is thinner sheet metal and uses one screw to hold the top down. We've lightly oiled the cotton style filters instead of running them dry, and this is fine for the street. This car isn't going to be a daily driver, wasn't meant to be a daily driver, but I'm sure he's going to be driving it more now that summer's here. It's like the 2nd of July, 4th of July weekend. I noticed when I was looking at how to set up the linkage, there's not a lot of room here to get the oil filler off, although this came out pretty good. I wanted to get some of the side play out of the arm. There's quite a bit of back and forth play here. I like to have 0. When the engine is cold, I like to have 0 and no binding, because as your engine warms up and gets to normal operating temperature, it grows outward, and that creates more of a gap there. And the geometry of your linkage can change. But this isn't an off-road car. It's not going to be jostled too much, and it drives really sweet for a lowered vehicle, and hopefully he'll get lots of miles and smiles with this. And yeah, I just, you know, I just met the guy, and I feel like he's a friend. Of course, that kind of happens with Volkswagen people. It just seems that, you know, Volkswagen people like to share, and they share the hobby and the love of these cars. And I just think it's so cool that this guy has had this car all these years. And you know, it takes time and money, and you set up your car the way you want it. He's got a nice interior, he's got stockish seats in this thing, and you really sit low. He let me drive it, but it shifts good. The carburetors seem to work well, and I've been curious about that ever since I've heard about them. I've never been able to fondle these type of carburetors, but the way this car ran, you know, I'm just here to tell you that don't hold back. You know, pick out something that you like. If you like that Weber name and have the money, then go ahead and get them. I have a feeling that buying these carburetors, which I would consider too big, I would have gone, these are 44s. I think, you know, for fuel economy and performance, I would have gone with the 40s, and you maybe put the 30mm venturis in them, like the Delortos come with on their 36s. But we've got it set up where it's working, and whoever originally installed these, I think it was a local VW club, some individual helped him out and did a good job of putting it in and getting it all squared away. So you know, I'm just giving it a big thumbs up. I like the car. I like the looks of the carburetors. With the Delorto, like I said, or the Super D that CarCraft sells, you can access the idle jets by taking the top of the air cleaner off, which is cast aluminum, has 2 hold down screws, and you get to the idle jets from the top rather than trying to get them out on the side. And I guarantee you, at some point in time, you're going to have to chase down a misfiring cylinder, and it's just on a stock engine compartment such as this, it's just aggravating and simple to do, and it always seems to be an inconvenient time when that popping and snapping starts going after it, and it just, that's the way it is. But at any rate, I hope you're having a great holiday and being safe, and I love y'all. I really like the looks of this car, man, and to think that he's had it all this time. This is the way. I wouldn't have it a lowrider if it was my personal vehicle, but I sure like the wheels, and it just sits nice, and it sounds nice too. But I'm not at liberty to start it up right now, and I don't think it really makes any difference. I think he'll take my word for it, and I've kind of been nosy enough. It's just about dinner time. Sun's starting to get closer to the mountains over there, so Hope you found this interesting, and a big thumbs up to EMPI HPMX carburetors. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.